Good evening and welcome to another edition of HGP Sport. For today, I'm Jaden Samuels. Thanks for joining us. We begin the cast with some cricket news. Shemron Hetmyer and fast bowler Sheldon Cottrell have already been snapped up as the 2020 IPL auction begins. The details in this report. IPL auction for the 2020 season has started with young Shemron Hetmyer, now a millionaire, being bought by the Delhi Capitals for $1.1 million US. The tussle for the left-hander saw bids coming from Royal Challengers Bangalore, Knight Riders, and then between the Capitals and Royals, but the left-hander was released by his former employer after chalking up 90 runs in 5 innings from last season. Teammate and fast bowler Sheldon Cottrell is another millionaire, being bought by the Kings 11 Punjab for $1.2 million US. The left-handed fast bowler was in the midst of a three-way fight between Royal Capitals and Kings 11 until Kings finally inked the West Indian. Meantime, as the bidding continue, eyes will be on whether Kemo Paul and Shafrain Rutherford will be retained by the Delhi Capitals. Jaden Samuels, HGP. Still in cricket news, other regional member associations are being encouraged to follow the footsteps of Guyana in setting up similar sport facilities to the one at Labon Intention on the east coast of Demerara. These were the words of Vice President of the West Indies Cricket Board, Kishore Shallow, speaking at the GCB Awards ceremony held on Wednesday evening. The details in this report. Restoring Caribbean cricket to its former glory was and will always be a collective effort, especially at this time when the West Indies Cricket Board is having serious financial instability. Against this backdrop, the Vice President has complimented the brainchild of the Labon Intention facility and even called on other regional member associations to follow suit.
This project certainly excites me, and I'll tell you why. It is remarkable that in times of financial instability across the region, that the GCB can manage such an undertaking to establish a multifaceted infrastructure. The LBI, which is an academy setting, or which will be an academy setting, is set to ensure that Guyana continues to be a leading force in West Indies cricket for many years, and West Indies and the world and beyond, My hope is that the rest of the cricket administrators in the region see this as a feasible model to follow and adopt.
When completed, the $600 million cricket facility will boast self-contained refurbished dorms with a kitchen, dining facilities and full internet access, which will accommodate first-class players. Additionally, a 4-story stand will be constructed with a capacity of 7,000 fans, a gym, parking facility and grass mounds for spectators. The Vice President reiterated that initiatives such as these are critical in revamping and bringing back the dominant maroon side.
Are essential to advance the game of cricket in the region. Unfortunately, the current financial reality of Cricket West Indies doesn't allow for the centralized funding of such ventures. And so we rely on the respective territorial boards to be creative and resourceful, as Senasi and the GCB have been with this project.
Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport. Table tennis news. People's Republic of China and the government of Guyana, along with the Guyana Table Tennis Association, have signed a memorandum of understanding which will significantly boost the level of local table tennis. The details in this report.
The Memorandum of Understanding, which was signed on Thursday morning at the National Center of Education Resource Development, NCERT, is one that is symbolic of the ongoing support between the two nations. The agreement is one which will see the provision of high-level coaching to national players in China, equipment support in schools and communities and development initiatives, training of local coaches, and the building of a home for table tennis in the near future. Speaking at the ceremony, President of the Guyana Table Tennis Association, Godfrey Monroe, stated that the body has recognized that the key pillar is the development of the sport.
This activity forms a key part of our strategic plan, which seeks to engage a target segment in the development trust of any sport in Guyana, which essentially revolves around you, our students. in engaging them and orienting them to the sport in view of teaching them a lifelong learned skill, formation of school teams that will compete in varying competitions in inter-school, inter-house, inter-region, and culminating at the national level. And in addition to developing the key talents that emerge from those competitions that will form the national representatives of Guyana.
Monroe added that schools were selected based on several factors, which included the provision of equity and access to student athletes, commitment from schools that the students will use the equipment, and available spaces to house the tables, among other considerations. Minister of Education Nicolette Henry commented that her ministry is committed to working with external partners towards the building and strengthening of the education sector.
Since we are currently focusing on the holistic development of our learners, and as you know, we're also in the process of reviewing the curriculum. This, of course, is more in keeping with the students' ability, their interests, best practices, and more global demands.
Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, His Excellency Jie Shu, shared that the people of China are happy to assist. And over the years, China has sent table tennis coaches to Guyana to help the development of the sport locally. Only this year, as the friendship of China government and the GTA improved, 4 local players underwent a high-level training stint at one of the most elite table tennis academy in the People's Republic.
Mr. Godfrey Monroe wrote to me and said he hopes the table tennis will become most played sport in Guyana. So I think that the national sport cricket may be one of the national sport table tennis. I don't know whether football maybe is one of the table tennis.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Karen Cummings, who was present also at the ceremony, described the initiative as an expression of strong and continued partnership between the two nations, noting that sports can be a powerful vehicle for promoting foreign relations, trade, and enterprise between different peoples and nations. For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard.
Turning our attention to some football news, Annandale Secondary was ousted by Shiva Boys Hindu College, while Warramadong marched into the semi-finals on Wednesday at the Providence Training Center. We'll have the details in this Stanford Howard report.
Annandale Secondary continued to display a poor showing at the second annual KFC Goodwill Football Tournament by losing all 3 of their matches despite a strong start. The school scored a goal in the 13th minute from Junior Harrington. However, Adesi Ash of the Shiva Boys Hindu College soon got things rolling for his side by completing a hat-trick. His first goal came in the 24th minute, with the other 2 coming in the second half in the 49th and 83rd minutes of the game. The talented but out-of-sort East Coast School team netted a second goal via Omari Glasgow in the 73rd minute. But that was not good enough as the Shiva Boys scored 3 more unanswered goals off the boot of Nigel Carabee in the 26th minute, Felix Lewis in the 55th minute, and Jamal Lewis in the 60th minute to round off the match and march into the semi-finals with a 6-2 win. Captain of the Shiva Boys team, Stefan Thomas, spoke with reporters on the sidelines on the team's unbeaten record in the tournament so far and his expectations going into the semi-finals since they were the defending champions.
We unfortunately, in the first half, we lost the battle in the first half, but the coach showed us focus and we keep on focusing and we come out with a victory today. Playing the team and we just depend on him to score goals and we just set him up as much as we can and he have to provide the opportunities. Being more physical than the last team and we did our job, but unfortunately we lost the first half, but we come out and put it out to all our best and we come out with the victory.
In the second match, fans were able to witness Warramadong battling it out with Marion Academy. The contest was proven to be an arduous task for Marion's Academy when the Hinterland boys pulled out some of their best works. The scoring started just 15 minutes after first whistle by Carlito Joseph. That was the only goal in the opening half. With the resumption of the second half saw a few more goals, with Yassar Abraham adding the second in the 51st minute and Mele George in the 57th minute. By this stage, it was still a no-show of goals for Marion, as Ovid Andrews added the fourth goal for his team in the 85th minute to seal Warramadong's semi-final spot. The semi-finals will now move to the Ministry of Education ground on Friday, 20th of December, 2019. The matchup are as follows. At 1700 hours, Shiva Boys Hindu Academy will go up against Lodge, and at 1900 hours, Anai will take on Warramadong. For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard.
And finally, in sport this evening, as part of its 5-year $30 million Namilco GFF contract, the Brass, Aluminium and Cast Iron Foundry has skillfully crafted a trophy for the GFF Super 16 champion. The details in this report.
Managing Director Mr. Bert Sukai and staff of the National Milling Company of Guyana Namilco on Tuesday afternoon had an opportunity to get a glimpse of a locally crafted GFF Super 16 Cup 2019-2020 trophy. It is the handiwork of Brass, Aluminum and Cast Iron Foundry. Namilco is the single largest sponsor of the GFF through its Thunderbolt Flower Power Under 17 Intra-Association League. The contract is in the second of its 5 years tenure and is worth over $30 million. The name of the winner is to be inscribed in the prestigious piece of silverware. President of the Guyana Football Association, Wayne Ford, in his remarks expressed profound gratitude to Namilco for the massive support they have been giving to the sport of football. The trophy, which is the first of its kind, would be making the rounds at a number of Guyana Football Federation's sponsorship partners during this year-end's Super 16 Cup, which kicked off last Sunday and will continue this weekend. For HGP Sport, I am Samuel Gillett.
That concludes our cast for this evening. I'm Jaden Samuels, reminding you, as always, say yes to life, yes to sport, and no to drugs. Good night.